Guys, thanks for watching. So this is episode 2 of the mini-series regarding training and nutrition for beginners. So this episode is all about intensities, rep ranges and sets. So first off, we will go into rep ranges. For me personally, rep ranges can be periodized to include low rep ranges, high rep ranges. In my own training, I mix rep ranges. So some sets I'll go from 6 to 10 reps. Others might be 25 to 30 reps. It just depends. So it's mixing strength, hypertrophy, and endurance. In terms of sets, there is in terms of sets and intensities, there are a lot of different theories, methods. You've got high volume, low volume, high intensity, leaving reps in reserve. So high intensity, if you look back at the greats of the past, sort of the legend bodybuilders like Dorian Yates, who would do balls to the wall, one set per exercise to complete failure. By this I mean concentric failure and eccentric failure. So say a bench press, concentric would be pushing the bar up, eccentric would be when the bar comes down, controlling that. So going to eccentric failure, you'd do your reps concentric and eccentric. When you can no longer push, you'd have a spot who would push for you. Then you'd control the negative part of the rep. So then, when you can't do any more eccentric reps, you've then reached complete failure. Other methods to do this without the spot would include drop sets, rest pauses, etc. But that is a completely different subject. Then you've got the likes of, at the minute, there's a lot of people in the natural scene, science-based, who believe in leaving reps in reserve, RAR, or going to a certain RPE. So for example, doing a 4-week block, starting an exercise with 4 reps in reserve. So 4 reps from concentric failure. Then the second week, 3 reps from concentric failure. This stupid stutter from concentric failure. Third week, 2 reps. First week, 1 rep, which gets pretty tough. Then you deload. Then you repeat again. For me personally, I like the approach of what a lot of people are using at the minute, such as Jordan Peters with 2 sets per exercise, which is slightly like how Yates trained. However, you're training to concentric failure in both sets, but you're not taking it to complete eccentric failure. You're still controlling the eccentric, however, still keeping good form. But as soon as you can get no more reps on your own, you then hit complete failure. This is good for compound moves, which as a beginner, most of your moves will be compound moves. But if you do any isolations, it's, for me, just hitting concentric failure doesn't really do as much. For me, I like to get more contractions, more of a pump as well. So I will add in drop sets, rest pauses, etc. So, as a beginner, should you be applying my method? Well, not just my method, sorry. I'm saying that as if I've completely made that on my own. I haven't. So the method of JP, etc. Should you be training to concentric failure? Or in fact, should you ever be training to failure, and how often? For me, yes, I love the method that I'm doing. I have done straight sets before, so you have a rep range of say 8 to 10, 4 sets, so you've got to keep some reps in reserve to not fatigue by the fourth set. For me, I did find this quite boring and tedious. However, as a beginner, your form, your execution of the movement isn't going to be optimal enough to to optimally hit concentric failure. So in this case, I'd suggest doing straight sets, practicing the movement, and then when you excel at that movement, you can then start taking that to concentric failure. Sorry for this stutter, by the way, guys. It's getting on my fucking nerves tonight. So we've talked about that. We've talked about rep ranges. So 2 sets. If you are doing straight sets, you would need more volume as the intensity will be lower. But like I've just said, as your performance of the movements becomes more advanced, basically as you become better at doing specific movements, skill acquisition, you can then gradually start taking more exercises to complete failure. For instance, I've only been doing safety bar squats now for 2-3 months. I haven't got this in my current training program because my skill at doing this movement isn't good enough to be able to take it to concentric failure while maintaining good form, good posture, good depth, good range of motion. So that's one thing to consider, guys. Anyway, that's my rant over. Thanks for watching. Give me a follow on Instagram at Johnny_Gregson. Any likes, shares, comments, let me know what you think, guys, and I will see you next time. Cheers.